Welcome back. Today we're making my favorite pie, which is the coconut cream pie. The first thing I need to do over a medium heat in a dry skillet is toast my coconut. This takes about 5 minutes. It's really simple. You just want to kind of stir this fairly frequently. You don't want it to burn. You want it to get to a nice golden brown. And once it's reached the golden brown state, you're going to shut your heat off. Give it a real quick shake. And we're going to put this on the back of the stove to cool off. Now we're going to prepare our filling. I need to measure out 3 cups of half and half. You want to make sure you use the full fat. You don't want to use the fat free or it will not set up correctly. And then once I've got that done, I'm going to prepare my eggs. This is a custard filling. So I'm going to break open 2 large eggs. And I'm going to give them a real quick whisking. Once I've got these whisked together, I'm going to go ahead and get my saucepan ready. So I'm using a medium-sized pan or pot over medium heat. I'm going to add my half and half. So I'm going to get that poured right in there. And then I'm going to add to that 1/2 of a cup of white flour. And now this is going to thicken up our custard really nicely. So I'm going to measure out that 1/2 cup. Then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. Now this is not a very sweet pie. It is sweet, but it's not overly sweet. And once I've got that done, I'm just going to give this a real quick whisk. I'm going to add to that 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And once I've got that added, I'm just going to give that a quick whisking. And I'm going to add my eggs. Now you want to make sure you add the eggs before it gets hot. If you do not do that and you add this to a hot mixture, you're going to have scrambled eggs, and that is not good. No, not at all. So I'm going to go ahead and add my eggs, and I'm just going to start whisking this really well. Now you're going to see it's starting to thick up almost immediately. And so you want to make sure you stir it, and I've switched over to a spatula. And I'm just going to keep stirring this till it reaches the consistency that I want, which is about the thickness of a pudding. So once that is done, I'm going to remove it from the heat. And I'm going to add to that 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm going to go ahead and stir that in. You want to make sure this is off the heat when you do this part. Just give that a real quick stir. And then I'm going to measure out 3/4 of a cup of that toasted coconut. This is, oh my gosh, this is such an easy pie, and it's so good if you like coconut. And I'll get that last bit of that in there. And you see how beautiful that is? We're going to stir that up. Now you can use either a pastry crust or a graham cracker crust. I use the graham cracker crust because that's my preference. You can make your own graham cracker crust, or you can use the store-bought as I did. Or again, you can use a pastry crust making your own, or buying a store-bought. Now I'm going to add that to my pie, and I'm going to refrigerate that for about 3 to 4 hours to set. And I'm going to make some whipped cream when it's done to my stand mixer that I have put in the freezer to get nice and cold, along with the whisk attachment. I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then I'm going to add about 1/8 of a cup of white sugar. You don't want this overly sweet. And then I'm going to add to that a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that down, lock it, turn it on high, and let it whisk or whip. Now this is going to take about 3 minutes or so. And once it's firm and makes soft peaks, it's ready to use. Now if you want to use Cool Whip, you can, or you can use the canned ready mix. I personally don't care for Cool Whip, so I don't use it very often. And I'm just going to go ahead and spoon this on top of my pie that is set. Now you want to be fancy, you can certainly pipe this on with a pastry bag, but I'm not feeling very fancy today, so I'm just going to spread that around, and I like a real thick layer of the whipped cream. And once that's spread on there, I'm going to sprinkle my toasted coconut on there to garnish it. And that's all there is to it. It's quick, It's easy and it tastes like $1,000,000. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, hit that subscribe button down below. I'm posting 3 videos a week, 2 cooking and baking videos, along with 1 randomness vlog. Pie is my favorite dessert. Well, cheesecake's my #1 favorite. Pie would be a very, very close second. I like fruit pies, I like cream pies, I like double crusted pies. I'm not particular, but my very favorite pie is definitely a coconut cream pie with a close second of peanut butter, which I will do a peanut butter pie recipe probably in the next few weeks. But I love this coconut cream pie. It's easy to make. It's stuff that I always have on hand. And it's just really rich and decadent, and it tastes like you slaved over the stove forever. And you really have 5-10 minutes worth of work into it. So it's definitely a keeper. Also, I like my coconut cream pies in a graham cracker crust, and that's what I use. You can use a regular pastry crust, a homemade, or a store-bought. But I generally will buy the store-bought graham cracker crust. To me, it's just a little bit easier than making one. They're easy to make, but this is even easier. They're usually like $1 to $2 a piece, so they're pretty cheap. But also, I do make my own whipped cream. I don't care for Cool Whip. I will buy it occasionally, but generally speaking, if something calls for Cool Whip, I will make my own whipped cream. As you see in the video, it's really easy to make. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a metal bowl, and a regular hand mixer just takes a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth the time and the effort. But I think that's about it. What's your favorite kind of pie? Leave me comments down below and let me know. I hope you guys have a great day. And remember, not every day is good, but there's always something good in every day, and I will see you next time.